Bienvenidos, everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of the Trial and Aaron podcast. We call it The Tap. I am your host, Aaron, and today's episode, my sliders, my loyal followers, is going to be a little somber, a little sad. It's ironically a subject that I love talking about and draw massive inspiration from. However, it is a sad week. It is the passing of the man who created this guy. If you guys don't know who this is a picture actually, a painting actually purchased for me by dear old cousin Travis. He got it on his travels. Thank you, Travis. This is Kakarot from Planet Vegeta, but more commonly known as Goku, one of the most well-known and recognizable protagonists in all of anime, pop culture, and just cartoons in general. Just it's part of our knowledge, that skill set. You see those stern-looking eyes, you see the hair, you see the Super Saiyan hair as well, and it just brings back all sorts of nostalgia. And I think Dragon Ball Z is a massive butterfly net that captured all of us when we were younger, a vast majority of us when we were younger, and really got us into anime and introduced us into this medium. But Goku did not pass away, even though he's done that before. But the guy who created it, Akira Toriyama, or as they'd say in Japan, Toriyama Akira. Man, I just remember getting this comic and getting introduced to Dragon Ball Z way back when. So I just wanted to take this episode and just talk about Dragon Ball Z and me, what it means to me, when I got introduced to it. Of course, this is a subject that I could have some guests on for. But it's just gonna be me, myself, and I. And out of respect for this guy, we got my dragon mug here, the goblet, the Iron Dragon with the key. It's just all shout out to the Eternal Dragon, to Dragon Ball Z. My goodness. So I didn't really take any notes. I wasn't exactly sure what to say. I just knew, all right, gotta get an episode once a week. That's the quota. And the guy recently passed away at the age of 68, which really sucks. Super young. And I guess he had a blood clot go to the head, or just in his brain. Something just very unfortunate. Very young for this guy who was apparently still creating a bunch of stuff. Was in the middle of a lot of projects at the right. When you think about it, 68, not young, but in the grand scheme of things, I mean, my guy. Grandma Pat recently passed away. She made it to 87. Grandpa Albert's about to turn 90. Grandma Barb, I believe, is 87. So, I mean, these ages, like 68, still like a pipsqueak in the grand scheme of things. But, Akira Toriyama. Let's see. Dragon Ball Z entered my life. This will be something of like a recap of that series. I wasn't really big into Dragon Ball. I heard about it. I'm like, why would I want to watch a young Goku when I can watch an older, more masculine, more dangerous Goku whoop that ass? I think what got me into it just kind of came along on TV. I think in the late 90s, that's when it captured my eye, because I was watching Toonami on Cartoon Network, which all about my Johnny Bravos, my Dexter's Labs, Courage the Cowardly Dogs. But Toonami came on. It was a little bit later on at night, and I believe at 8:30 Gundam Wing was on, and then right afterwards Dragon Ball Z started at 9 to 9:30, and my bedtime was at 9:30, so it'd be the last thing, like what I look forward to going to bed. And man, I remember I hopped on board the bandwagon, really started getting into it. I think they're in the Frieza saga, they're in Namek. And it was just so cool to see this high, like, guys are flying, which is just blows your mind. The art was awesome, and the fighting was just badass. The characters are badass. You resonate with them. They're just these tough guys, these masculine warriors that are just whooping ass and taking names. Not Krillin, none of the Earthlings. I guess in Dragon Ball, you got your Tien, your Chaozus, your Yamchas, your Krillins, and even your Master Roshis, who were formidable, but God, they are relics of the past and are just I would say completely useless in all of Dragon Ball Z. So if we might rewind, I realized, there's more sagas. There's more that led up to the Namekian saga, the Frieza saga, which I was just enthralled in. And we'll get back to that, but I just realized, okay, so Raditz came, Goku's older brother comes, and this is just shaking everything people knew from Dragon Ball. Goku is indeed an alien from planet Vegeta, just sent here to destroy planets. He has that little tail, used to have it, and when Saiyans see a full moon, they go batshit crazy. It's like they drink tequila, and they turn into this giant destructive ape that is capable of leveling cities and planets. So Goku introduces Gohan on Master Roshi's island, and Goku's on the flying Nimbus, that yellow cloud, so iconic. And then Piccolo comes along to be like, yo, let's team up. Piccolo, this foe of Goku, this villain in Dragon Ball, now they're teaming up. Now they're going to be friends. And Piccolo's intention out the gate is to kill Goku. Straight up, he wants to murder him, but if the planet's gone, then that's going to get in the way of Piccolo's schemes to kill Goku. They work together. Piccolo ends up doing a special beam cannon that goes through Raditz, who's being held by Goku. These guys who are just... I love the whole... is trope the right word? I'm not sure, but classic anime where you see these guys are wearing regular clothes, they start getting beat, then all of a sudden they take off these weighting vests. Piccolo takes off his shoulder pads and his turban that are all super weighted, and their power levels spike. I love power level readings. I'm not exactly sure. My power level, I think the first guy got rated at like a 10, this farmer, which I think deserves better than a 10 when Raditz has the scouter. I've always wanted a scouter that just hangs on the side of your ear, gives people power ratings of you. Oh my goodness. That could be a really fun question for off the cuff for future guests. Like, what is the power level of John Jones, of Mike Tyson? Like, what are just power level readings? I would say, if I'm being completely honest, hit me with a 20. I feel like I have a power level of a 20, you know? I could bench press, I could squat, I could run. I'm still wheeling and dealing, baby. So hit me with a 20. I'm not sure exactly what different the levels would be of how you ascend to 30, 40, 50, how powerful we can be. But tale for another time. I just love the power ratings. And then Gohan spikes out of nowhere. He blasts out of the Saiyans, out of Raditz's ship, and he gives him a nice headbutt into the chest. But all of it leads to the climax of Goku dying. He goes to the afterlife, and there's so many good photos of Goku with a halo on, or he sees King Yama. He's like the gatekeeper. He's like, you're going to heaven, hell, wherever. Goku needs to go see King Kai to train for Vegeta and Nappa. They're going to come a couple of years later. I think they have a year of training to do. And so yeah, a lot of good fan art of Akira Toriyama going to heaven, going through the afterlife that is depicted in his cartoons and his creations, which is really special, really cool. And Goku goes and trains. Meanwhile, the Earthlings change. Let's fast forward. It was the first time, like, I'm like, all right, the Saiyamen come out. I think Piccolo, like, they tune up one of them, and then another Saiyaman goes. Yamcha's like, oh, I got this, blah, 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 and then gets his ass killed. Yamcha, you get killed by a Saiyaman, Sabaman, whatever, the little green guys that do the Saiyans' biddings. It's pathetic. It's pathetic to see them just die so quickly. And then the fight ensues. Nappa, the big bald Saiyan, goes and starts whooping that ass. And Vegeta is a sick bastard. I mean, he's genocidal. He's destroyed planets. He's destroyed civilizations. Hitler adjacent, I might say. Just utterly ruthless. Loves his job, though. And he just kills, and kills. It's one of the first time that in any cartoon I've watched where you get a dramatic entrance, and Goku is just so known for it. Him and that goddamn hair. The sensu beans. I wish I could have some sensu beans in my life. Just there's so many times that I'd be able to use them, put them to good use. Say at halftime of a basketball game, pop a sensu bean, you're just fucking ready to roll, baby. Goku exhausts a lot of energy getting from King Kai's planet to Earth. He pops a sensu bean on his way down to the battlefield, and he shows up in dramatic fashion after Piccolo gets tuned up. Piccolo sacrifices his life for Gohan. You see a lot of that. Like, another great question, who would you stand in the way for if Power Blast is coming towards a loved one or whatever? Power Blast was going towards Kit Kat. I'd jump in front of that blast. I'd take it. I'd survive. Give me a sensu bean. I'll get back in this fight. But Piccolo gets got. Shows his love for Gohan. So it's just Gohan and Krillin are left. Tien gets fucked up. He gets his arm cut off by by Nappa. Chiaotzu goes and just self-destruct on Nappa on his back. Does literally nothing. Doesn't even, it might scratch his Saiyan armor a little bit, but what a worthless character. Even more worthless than Yamcha. It's pathetic. Krillin kind of does some stuff, but Krillin's just, he's a waste of a sensu bean. All the Earthlings are a waste of sensu beans. The only thing Tien does, he's probably the best of them. Tri-beam, that's okay. Solar Flare, that gets some stuff done, but I mean, Solar Flare is like just a basic first level move. You've mastered the basics. Congratulations. You can dribble between your legs, but you're not going in crunch time. Sit on the bench. A lot of you. All of you guys sit down. Goku steps up. He tunes up Nappa. Whoops that ass. He introduces the Kaioken, which is kind of like a precursor to going Super Saiyan, but it's just awesome. It's like opening up the inner gates. If people are familiar with Naruto, there's Rock Lee, one of my favorite shinobi. He has no chi, no power. In Dragon Ball Z, it's your chi. In Naruto, it's called chakra. Regardless, Rock Lee has none of it, and he's able to open up these inner gates, which is like, okay, you have power levels that you can reach to on a whim, but if you go beyond what you're capable of enduring, you're going to die. And Goku's just, Kaioken is essentially opening his inner gates. Kaioken times 2, 3, whatever. He's got to say it. And he whoops Nappa's ass. Nappa is just dying. He's like, Vegeta, help your boy out. Vegeta's like, all right. It kills him. There's only Goku, there was Reddit's, Nappa, and Vegeta. 3 Saiyans left in their entire race. The species of Saiyans right there, and Vegeta's arrogant ass just blows Nappa away, kills the shit out of him. Now there's only 2 Saiyans left, and the fight between Goku and Vegeta is epic, and I think that's in, oh my goodness, what happens? This one here, like the comics go backwards, and it's just so badass. He's like, there is a great fight. Nappa versus Piccolo versus the rest of them is pretty sweet. Goku's just toying with him. Look at this. Look at this. We're going backwards. I'm not gonna. Here we go. This comic is so great, so well done. Goku and Vegeta just whooping that ass, and they're saying bad words. I remember, oh, the show's great on TV, and then they have bad words and blood. Like, it starts getting really naughty when you start getting the comics, the original format. Possibly. I have no idea if it really is the original format, but oh, what a great fight that was. Goes down to the wire. Vegeta eventually yields. He has to retreat after getting his ass whooped. He's infinitely stronger than all of them, but this is the first time we see Goku step up to the challenge. He's as strong as he needs to be, and even then he needs help. Yajirobe cuts off Vegeta when he turns into a giant ape, cuts off his tail. Gohan turns into a giant ape at one point. Krillin almost kills Vegeta. He has Yajirobe's sword, and then just like all of them get their salads tossed and have to go and recover afterwards. I'm not sure how long it takes. I think the cat's name is Korin, who makes the sensu beans, grows them, whatever. I have no idea how long it takes. They're just kind of there sometimes at their leisure, and then sometimes not. You get them in the nice little brown sack. Anyways, God, seeing this, fast forward to the Namek Saga. Love the Ginyu Force. Goldo, Jace, Berta, Raccoon, Captain Ginyu. Just all of them flaming homosexuals. I went to school in San Francisco for a minute, ad school. I know a band when guys are not wearing pants, just skin-tight outfits and do choreography, muscular to the gills, loyal to each other. I'm not gay no more. The Ginyu Force, very gay, very flaming, great soldiers. They're like Spartans, you know. You never fight harder than those you love. And I'm pretty sure when I see the Ginyu Force, all of them do the human centipede, but with wieners and booty holes. Anyways, moving forward from that assessment, Goku yet again needs to save the day. He goes from Earth all the way. He takes a capsule core. Love the capsule core. What a great logo. The capsule core ship all the way to Namek, and he's training his ass off in super high gravity and just pushes himself beyond his limitations and just gets stronger, more deadly, more agile. But how strong is he? Is he strong enough? Because at this point we see Frieza, all of his henchmen are just uber powerful, tuning up Vegeta, who believes himself to be a Super Saiyan. Vegeta is like this shiesty piece of shit, very much still a bad guy, but there's a greater evil in Frieza and all his minions trying to get the Dragon Balls on Namek because Piccolo died on Earth. That means all the Dragon Balls on Earth disappeared. So they need to wish back Piccolo and Kami, his counterpart. Like, they're both like the same person, I guess. Piccolo's just the manifestation of Kami's evil. And when Kami's still back alive, then we can get the Earth Dragon Balls back. So for now, they got to go to Namek. Got to get those big old... They're like medicine-sized Dragon Balls. They're big. They're hefty. And chaos ensues. The Namekians are just getting killed left and right. They're not going to give up their Dragon Balls. And Frieza just shows what a psychopath he is. But, I mean, is Vegeta any better or worse? Vegeta, he's worse because he's not as strong. He's just this little bitch, this pissant, who's trying to find these Dragon Balls. He fucks up a couple of Frieza's guys, but ends up getting tuned up himself by... Oh, my God. Jace? No, not Jace. He's like the mint-skinned... right-hand man. There's Dodoria, the pink guy who Vegeta kills. And then... who cares what his name is? Anyways, he beats Vegeta. And when Saiyans get messed up near death, they come back even stronger, which is a cool character trait. But it all goes on. And mind you, as a kid watching this day in, day out, waiting till night, you can't binge this shit. You gotta wait for Toonami after a long day at school, possibly practice, homework. And then you gotta get in, like, just be ready for the ride. The music, I realized, because shout out to Terry Rudiganira, who gave me his Crunchyroll account access, and Dragon Ball Z was on there. I'm gonna rewatch it for old time's sake because I'm thoroughly immersed in the world of anime now in my later years. And it was the original, like, it was all dubbed, but it had the original Japanese music, just horns and just kind of weak ass shit, a weak musical value. When I was born and bred and raised with Dragon Ball Z on Toonami, this Americanized version with such amazing synth and rock and just epic fucking music that just rose to the occasion, just like Goku, and just gets you so immersed in it. When there's dire situation, it's just so good. My God, listen to it again. Like when you're watching Goku go Super Saiyan for the first time, listen to music. Listen to just how epic and how it just sets the tone of the show and what we're seeing. The music is as important as any other, as the illustrations, the dialogue, what happens in it. The music very much helped make this show. Anyways, I'm done sucking off the music. Goku comes back again, saves the day. Fast forward, blah blah blah. And, Frieza goes through his phase. There's always... I don't know if Dragon Ball Z invented this, but when you have a bad guy who's, oh, this isn't even my final form, Frieza goes from small guy floating around his little wheelchair to this giant guy, then this elongated head guy, and then finally the Frieza we know and hate. Excuse me. His final form, he's just looks how he is today, just purple head, whatever. Like, just when you think of Frieza as he is, that's it. He's in his final form. And Goku and him square off, and it's a great fight. Vegeta gets killed, and the stakes are very high, Snoop Dogg levels of highness. And eventually, like, Goku learns the Spirit Bomb, I think, from King Kai, and honestly, it never really works. In all of Dragon Ball Z, every time they try to use the Spirit Bomb, it flounders. And Goku does it. He's able to get enough time because Piccolo comes back. They're able to wish back Piccolo onto Namek. Like, why would you wish back any of the pissant Earthlings? Staying trained with King Kai. Piccolo's the one worth a damn. And he holds off Frieza long enough for Goku to collect the chi needed to just throw this giant moon-sized ball of energy at Frieza, who's fighting, and just is just like, I guess I don't understand. How is he unaware? I guess Piccolo's just that much. He just siphons that attention from him. Make sure we're still... Yeah, we are recording. Anyways, so... Blah, blah, blah. Que paso próximo? Oh, yeah, we're recording big time. Goku throws the Spirit Bomb at not at Vegeta. He tries to do it to Vegeta. He does do a Spirit Bomb against Vegeta. It's a little bit smaller, but he gives it to Krillin, the most unworthy. And Krillin smacks Vegeta with the Spirit Bomb, but it's not enough to kill him. Fast forward to Goku with a much larger Spirit Bomb. Hits his mark, and they think they win the day. Everybody's all tired, and then Krillin gets killed. That's great. Fuck Krillin. But if if his life had any worth, any value, because Frieza comes back, he just got a little dust in his eye, and him killing Krillin, he's only good for dying, and the only good thing he ever did in his life was befriending Goku and establishing such a bond, because Goku starts freaking out. He's pissed. He's not nearly strong enough to defeat Frieza, but something snaps within him, and he's able, because of that loss and the pain, is the final oh my goodness, it's the push he needed in order to reach the heights, the level that he never thought possible. It's like you can only get so strong without a spotter. If you have a spotter in the gym and you're lifting heavy, that's the only way you can really get super strong. And this level, like, Krillin was like the emotional push, the straw that broke the camel's back for Goku to start freaking out. And as a kid, you have no idea what you're seeing. You've loved the show, every second of the show, every frame of the show until this moment, and the clouds start coming in. There's no sunlight, there's lightning striking, and Goku is just pissed. The rocks are floating. He's so powerful. Rocks are floating into the sky, and you see his hair kind of start, like, it like blinks. You're like, what is going on here? The pupils in his eyes disappear. It turns white until eventually he just gives one crazy fucking yell, and that's the first time we see the blonde hair. We see the shimmering yellow energy around Goku, and he stands there stout, proud, in his blue undershirt after this big-ass fight, and he has finally ascended to the level of Super Saiyan, which we hear Vegeta refer to many times as just this ultimate power. It's like a myth. You can't get Super Saiyan status. That's outrageous. Nobody could do that. Goku could do it. Goku is touched by fate, by loss, and he's able to pull this out of him. And at this point, I believe the fight is over. Frieza, it's like the longest 5 minutes ever. He throws this energy ball into Namek, and it starts crumbling. It's essentially, he begins an apocalyptic event. The planet's going to explode in 5 minutes. And Goku's like, all right, let's get at it. And the fight continues. Goku tells everybody, get off the planet. I'm not leaving with you. I want to fight this guy to the best of my ability now that there's nobody left to get hurt. And that's the thing about Goku. He is the ultimate. He's true to this every single time. He never falters from being himself. He's always true to himself every time we see him, and he is the ultimate fighter, the competition, the thrill, the rush, and that's what Saiyans are. They're fighters. They love it. They thrive off it. That's their lifestyle. It's in their genes, and Goku lives for the fight. He'll die for the fight, and he just wants to fight Frieza with no holds barred, no innocence in the way to keep him from going full tilt. And so the reason I say the fight was over when Goku turned Super Saiyan is because he's fighting Frieza. They both like power up even more. Goku's at his most jacked I've ever seen. Shirt's torn, his outfit's torn and tattered to shit. And he just keeps performing. He takes his hits, but he just will not go away. Wow. And Frieza can't stop it. And eventually gets to the point where like Goku's just, this fight's over. It's done. Like, you lose. Like, go off. Like, he tries to give Frieza a chance. Like, go off, try to be a better person. Get out of here. And I'm not sure exactly where Goku's going to go and find a ship. At this point, you're just freaking out because Super Saiyan Goku is the truth. Frieza, who is this indomitable, just unbeatable bad guy, is just, you're seeing him just get toyed with, essentially. It's really, you know, it's like the Golden State Warriors were such a badass, tough team that have come through the woodworks, and oh my god, they're unbeatable. And then it's like every time they play the Kings, they get fucking tuned up, baby. The Kings are at Super Saiyan level. They'll take their hits. They'll for sure take their hits, but the Kings are, I think, Super Saiyan level basketball team. Definitely get in the playoffs, and they're going to make a splash, unlike the Splash Brothers on the Warriors, who won't even sniff the playoffs. Ooh-wee! Moving forward, Goku tosses Frieza's salad, and eventually like, it ends. Let me just hit you with an anecdote here at the midway point. Dragon Ball Z meant so much to me that once upon a time, I forget what I did, but I pissed off Benny Blue, pissed off my pops, And he's like, no, you're going to bed early. You're going to bed early. I forget what I did. But oh my God, this is so pathetic. But it's the tap. And I figured, everybody here loves me, but they wouldn't judge me. I am distraught because that means I have to go to bed before Dragon Ball Z. And I can't remember exactly where in the series I was at. Could have been a filler episode, but I didn't want to miss it. And I'm like forcing myself to cry. I'm like, Dad, look at on, man. It's just like, I'm old. I'm like 13 or some shit. It is pathetic. And I'm pretty sure Benny Blue's like, Jesus, fucking pathetic. Watch your show. And like, I got to watch it at the, the cost of my dignity. It was pathetic, but man, I got to watch it. And I didn't really want my dad or anybody else in the goddamn room watching it with me because there's a lot of grunts. There's straight up episodes where it's just Goku for like 3 episodes possibly, not just the 1 episode, 3 episodes, and then finally they take a battle stance. It's time, and there's a lot of grunting, a lot of Krillin like Gohan, go save yourself. I don't want other people to be in the room and these guys are just squealing or what. I don't know. I just like my me time, and that was Dragon Ball Z and me time. God. So Namek finally gets blown up, and Dende, the young Namekian, we wishes everybody from Shenron, I think. I'm not sure if it's Shenron, but it's the big old, the Namekian Eternal Dragon is just jacked, buffed, and shout out to Johnny Lucero. Ricky Lucero is also a big Dragon Ball Z fan, but Johnny has his entire back tattooed of the Eternal Dragon, which is pretty sweet. Good looking tat. Painful it must have been. But everybody's on Earth, including Vegeta. He's back, and he's just acting a fool. Like, oh, I'm gonna rule this all. I'm like, dude, the axe up. I mean, it's just like, how do we forgive this guy who's murdered untold quantities of species, not just people, but alien species, just destroyed planets, and eventually this guy becomes an ally to Earth's the Z fighters of Earth, because time passes. There's the Garlic Jr. saga, which is pretty weak, the Spice Boys, and it's just Krillin, Gohan, Piccolo, and then Kami. It's a pretty weak saga. It's in between Namek and then the return of Frieza, and that one was freaky just because Gohan's doing homework and Krillin gives him a phone call. They're just, something's up, and they're like, yo, it feels like Frieza. They're sensing his power level from across the universe, and they know they got to train because he's even more powerful than he was before, which is freaking everybody out. And Frieza comes, and might I say, God, Akira Toriyama, what a bad man he is, because then we get introduced to Trunks. Trunks might have the greatest entrance of any character ever. He shows up. Frieza's this big bad man. This guy turns Super Saiyan. Another Saiyan when there's only 2 left in the universe. No, all the Z fighters are just chilling there trying to hold down their power levels. And God bless it, Trunks cuts Frieza in half and then blows him away in just a matter of seconds. And then King Cold's there, Frieza's dad. Trunks kills him too. And then this part of the whole saga series, like everything, when we start getting to androids and Cell, it gets a little confusing because there's time travel involved. But Goku shows up in the time he is supposed to, and Trunks tells him, hey, I'm from the future, yada, yada, yada. I'm Vegeta and Bulma's son. And Goku, that's when we learn he has instant transmission, and the future that Trunks comes from is very dead. Everybody's dead. Goku gets a heart disease. He's just been eating too much fried chicken and fatty foods. His heart gives out on him because of this disease. The androids come. Dr. Gero from Dragon Ball creates these androids. Dr. Gero, this old foe of Goku's from the Red Ribbon Army, is back, and he creates these androids to destroy the world. And they do that in the future, and it's really sad. It was one of those. I had a bunch of Dragon Ball Z videos and like VHS, and one I got was the future. And it showed like Goku's dead. It shows like Vegeta gets killed, Piccolo gets killed one by one. Instead of attacking in force, they go one-on-one, just get killed naturally until there's like only Gohan and tween Trunks. I would say he's about 12, 13. And Gohan, one-arm future Gohan is more badass than Great Saiyaman Gohan, or just the bum that Gohan turns into after the Cell Saga. And he is indeed a bum. Not a hot take. Anyways, rewind. Trunks is like, yo, the androids are going to come. They're going to kill everybody. Blah, blah, blah. Get your asses ready. And so they do. Goku, like, it's pretty freaky. I remember Cousin Travis, also a big Dragon Ball Z fan. We'd be spending the night at Grandma Pat, Grandpa Albert's house. We'd be watching it on TV. And then we go in, like, room where, like, we start doing push-ups and stuff. We're like, I don't know, 12, 13, whatever. And we're doing push-ups. We're getting ready for the androids are coming. We're doing push-ups and sit-ups right before going to bed. We're getting ready, baby. Fucking nerds we were. Nerds we are. And the androids come. Goku goes Super Saiyan, and he just does not have what it takes. He's struggling, and he gets his butt kicked by this fat porcelain doll-looking android, and then Dr. Gero android, this old man with a mustache. And then I think Trunks arrives. He's like, yo, these aren't the androids from my time. What? WTF, mate? Then Vegeta arrives. And Vegeta goes Super Saiyan. And this is what I love most about Vegeta. Even though he's a serial-killing psychopath, he might be my favorite character in the entire series. Here's the reason why. He is this pampered, uber-powerful prince. He's Prince Vegeta of Planet Vegeta. And you get to see like what Frieza did to the planet. He destroys the planet, kills Vegeta's dad, who tries to lead a coup against Frieza. And once he realizes, oh, he's going to kill all the Saiyans. Meanwhile, Goku's dad, Bardock, he's flying in space, trying to kill the shit. He's taking on an army of Frieza's henchmen at the same time. Frieza kills Vegeta's dad. Frieza goes outside and just with one finger creates this massive power ball that goes down, takes out Bardock, takes out Planet Vegeta, and all the Saiyans there. Only Vegeta, Raditz, Nappa, and Goku, Kakarot remain. Anyways, fast forward. Vegeta goes Super Saiyan, and again, he's pampered. He is powerful, but he realizes after Goku turns Super Saiyan, okay, I am second place. I'm second best, and Goku continually advancing. He's his rival. Goku is Vegeta's rival. And iron sharpens iron. He keeps pushing himself. He keeps grinding. He wants to reach Goku's level and beyond. And finally, it's like a cutscene, and Vegeta's like, "Fine, screw it. I give up. Like, I don't care anymore." He just, fuck it. He gave up the fight. And in that moment of despair and hopelessness is when he finally taps into his Super Saiyan side. He fought, scratched, clawed for every inch that he is given towards that goal. So Goku just doing it to protect those that he loves and for the good of the fight. Vegeta's got that dog in him too, perhaps even more so. And he fucks up the androids. And they follow the old man android to the mountains. They finally find him, and he activates the androids that Trunks knows and loathes. And it's Android 17 and 18, the black hair guy, blonde chick who Krillin ends up banging. How very, horny old man Japanese guy to be banging this hot android. Gotta love it. That's way off in the future. So the androids come, and then Cell comes. There's a whole kit and caboodle going on. Cell killing people is pretty wild. He just sticks his tail into him and just sucks him dry like Emotep when you take his magic urns. So eventually Android 17 and 18 are consumed by Cell, who reaches his perfect form. And then Android 16's around. I like Android 16. He's probably my favorite android. He's a bad man. But everybody gets stronger. Goku and Gohan reach a level Super Saiyan. Gohan reaches Super Saiyan, which is nice. Level 1 Super Saiyan. Vegeta and Trunks train pretty hard, but they're too muscular and bulky. They can't keep up with Cell's speed. And then the fight against Final Cell continues. Cell might be my favorite villain. He's diabolical. He spits out little mini cells to try to goad Gohan into reaching his next level 2 Super Saiyan. Because Goku, this piece of shit, he fights Cell, right? And then he's kind of taking it easy. It's a pretty good first fight, but they're just half-assing it, I think. And then Goku's like, all right, I give up. It's time for you to fight Gohan. Goku always, I want Gohan to have this fight. I want him to have this experience of fighting Cell, the best in saving the planet. And, anyways, what was I saying? Gohan is to fight Cell. Yes, sorry, people are texting me. And God, it's pretty irritating seeing Gohan just reluctantly, I don't want to do it. It's not right. Like he's just having this internal struggle until, and then all these like mini cells are just beating the shit out of all the Z fighters. And again, the Earthlings are they're just cannon fodder. They're there. They're trash. They're bums. They're not getting the job done. They get their asses whooped, and then finally once Cell steps on Android 16's head, Gohan just snaps. He loses it, he's an ascended Super Saiyan, level 2, and he kills all the Saiyamen, and then he starts toying with Cell, and eventually it bites him in the ass because Cell goes Destructo, and Goku has to teleport him off the King Kai's planet, but that kills Goku. But then Cell comes back and blasts Trunks, I believe. And Trunks, I think, dies. Vegeta loses it. He has a good little flurry against Cell, but then he gets his ass whooped. And then Gohan takes a blast to the arm. I think he's trying to protect Trunks, maybe. He jumps in the way. Another instance of getting jumping in the way. And it just deadens Gohan's left arm, dangling at his side. And, before that, Goku, the jackass, before Gohan and Cell fight, Goku throws Cell, the guy who's trying to destroy the world, a fucking senzu bean. Like an asshole. So anyways, Goku does that. It's great. Gohan fights the good fight with one arm. And it's looking like Cell's about to win the day. And it comes down to a Kamehameha off. Oh, another thing I love about Cell is that he's made up of every single Z fighter. He knows the Destructo Beam, the Tri-Cannon, the Solar Flare. He knows the Special Beam Cannon. He just knows everything. It's so cool seeing all the heroes fight against them. And so it goes down to the last Kamehameha off. And Gohan and Cell are just going at it, pushing back and forth, back and forth. And it's Gohan with one arm. And what I noticed fairly recently is future Gohan, his left arm's completely missing, and he's taking on the androids by himself, which is pretty cool. And then he dies fighting. And that's when Trunks first turned Super Saiyan, that loss. So in this reality, his left arm's lifeless. I didn't really notice that, but Gohan fights with one arm. And he goes, fights. Goku is talking to him through King Kai from the afterlife, telling him, hey, you got this, we got this, let's go. And finally, Gohan overwhelms Cell, blasts him into fucking oblivion, disintegrates every last cell of Cell so he can no longer regenerate. And that was like the ending of, to me, that's probably my favorite saga, the Cell saga, the Android leading up to Cell games. And it was just so great, so powerful going into that. And then, of course, after that, there's Majin Buu or whatever. I didn't like that too much because he was just, he gets hit and then he comes back. Whatever. I mean, it's cool seeing the fusion technique, which is awesome. Super Saiyan 3, it's okay. They take away Goku's eyebrows, whatever. Then there's the earrings that they're given by the Supreme Kai, Grand Kai. Like, there's... it's good. It's... Definitely watch it. Definitely watch the... After Goku dies, he's like, I'm not... I don't want to come back. All these bad guys coming to Earth are because of me. I'm like, okay, that's somewhat sound reasoning, but say they don't get the memo that you're fucking dead, and they come to Earth anyway to tune you up. What are you gonna do? You're still dead. Anyways, it goes on, and then the show eventually ends. They defeat Majin Buu, and Goku, the scum, he's not really around, so he abandons Chi-Chi. He could be wished back to life, but he's like, nah, I'm not gonna come back. I'm not gonna be back with my wife and my family. And then when he does come back, like at the end, Majin Buu, right as he dies, Goku wishes for him to come back as a better person, and that's when we get Oob. UUB, it's Boo backwards. And there's a tournament, and Goku fights him, and then eventually the fight stops, and Goku's like, well, it's decided. I'm going to train you. I'm going to go off to your village, and we're going to train. Buy Chi-Chi, buy Gotenks, or buy Goten, buy Gohan, Pan, and Videl. Like, it's just he has a family, has grandkids that he's just going to completely abandon for the fight. He loves the fight, and he goes off to train this kid. That's the end of Dragon Ball Z. Even when they're it's Goku and Vegeta, they realize once they're fused, Majin Buu has no chance. He stands no chance. So for it to be fair, they crush the earrings, which fuses them together. The only other way other than the fusion technique to get the job done. And it's just a Vegito. It's so ridiculous that they would allow the guy who's about to destroy the universe to have a fair fight. Why does it need to be fair? I don't know. Majin Buu, shout out to him, the only one to kill every human on Earth. He does this kind of planetary destruction thing. Just all the laser beams go down, find their mark, and he snipes everybody. His KD ratio, immaculate. But still, not sure if it's as high as Vegeta's. Anyways, overall, that's Dragon Ball Z. I know I've been rambling on somewhat aimlessly, but what this show means to me, it's like getting into anime, getting into these cartoons, and just seeing this style. It's so novel, so new. I mean, Gundam Wing was also awesome. I'm used to Tom and Jerry and Johnny Bravo, and I'm getting these giant robots just blasting each other and wielding lightsabers in space, killing the shit out of each other. I'm seeing these amazing warriors flying to and fro that are just buff and jacked. They're chiseled, ready to whoop that ass. And it inspired me so much. Akira Toriyama inspired me so much. I even did like a book report about it back in elementary school. A lot of it was bullshit, but I just wanted to talk about my favorite cartoon. And it still inspires me to this day. Like maybe there's not crazy levels of depth and character development, but what is there is very you can really resonate with it. Vegeta's struggle, always being number 2, always striving to be number 1. He has such pride. And Goku, just kind of a mindless oaf who just loves to fight. Is he a good guy? Yeah. Great dad? No. Great husband? Absolutely not. He's kind of a shithead that is just single-minded focus on goodness, and I guess the sub-series via fighting. He wants to protect those. That's what drives him. But overall, he's in it. He is just a pure martial artist. He loves it for the fight. And it's just cool dissecting his now I'm a little bit older than I was when I was 12 watching this shit. What motivates him, what drives him, and just the iconic hair, the moves, and how I wanted to start drawing anime. I just got started with Terry Rudiganera, drawing those eyes, those sharp, mean-looking eyes. Just loved it, and it was just very, very exciting every time I watched it because I knew it was something special, and it made me want to get art, made me want to get T-shirts, made me want to get these comic books, and all of it. Looking back now, what the guy who created Dragon Ball Z had such an impact on me in so many ways, and I think a lot of ways subconsciously, where it's just my creativity swelling and just being so inspired by who these characters are going on in the show, but just the story as it went on, some bad guys becoming good guys, and just it was just so cool to witness the show, so unique, and clearly its impact is seen all over the world. There's 2 people that work at the landfill at the county who have Dragon Ball Z tattoos. The swag, the style, the Saiyans eating their asses off every chance they get, and just super iconic, very culturally relevant, savvy, and just it's very sad that the creator of this passed away, and in a way, he's I don't want to say immortal. That seems very over the top to say, but his work, his art, and his inspiration live on, and everybody who's ever watched this show, who's ever been inspired by the show, who's ever yelled to be like Super Saiyan status, just saying Super Saiyan, it's so cool. Just I don't know, I nerd out about it. I've nerded out about it for about 45 minutes, and rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. What a great show Dragon Ball Z is. I will not mention Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Kai, whatever bizarre, wacky, less violent iterations there are. Dragon Ball Z is the show for me. It's near and dear to my heart. I hope it's if anybody hasn't watched it, give it a shot. Watch the fights. Everything about it's just so cool. Moving so fast that you can't be seen. Scouters, the whole of it, going Super Saiyan. The bad guys inspiring the good guys whooping their ass, and vice versa. It all mixed together into a total immersion as a kid and inspiration into someone who's 33, still very much inspired by it, and can look back fondly of the impact it had on me as a kid and what it has on me now. And so I hope all of you have enjoyed this little reminiscence of the tap. Aimless, sure, but and just a shout out to a hell of a creator, a hell of a creative mind. And hope all of you, whatever inspires you, let it resonate with you. Go out, pursue that creative medium, go create things. It's its own kind of freedom. Oh my goodness, I'm rambling again. But until next time, everybody, I love you. The tap is a thing, baby.
You lose! Good day, sir!